Hello. I'm gonna wait a little bit and let people come up in here. I don't know if people is up in here yet. Uh, it's just a little story. Give it a few minutes. Let me know if anybody's up in here. I don't see anybody up in here yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start. Uh, this is a story of my life and what's going on. 3 years ago, I've been in a relationship for since 2012. It's I fell in love. I still love the man. I believe in God. I committed to him. He's pretty much the type that what he says goes. He gets his way or he punishes you. Well, 3 years ago, I started standing up, started to fight back and stand up for myself and say I wasn't being taken advantage of anymore. I wasn't going to be a sex slave for somebody anymore. And then because of that, I made a mistake and had an accident in a car. It wasn't anything major, but because my kid was in the back seat and he told the officers that I was chasing him down the road for 5 miles, slamming into his vehicle, I got charged with pretty much a felony because of the accident. I ended up going to court, got put on probation, lost everything I had during that time, inheritance, what little money I had left, I bought a mobile home so I could live in and try to do what I needed to do. The courts, because of my background and in that little small town, you know, I was pretty much trying to get a job in that town is impossible considering when I got arrested, I was front page news. They had my mugshot on there, had already convicted me in the newspaper of being guilty without even hearing. So trying to get a job in a small town once you've already been publicly convicted is pretty much impossible. I ended up having to leave the town even though I was on probation. Left the town because police officers told me that, I had to, if they saw me driving in town again, I would be arrested. So I was escorted out, told basically not to return. Went down, tried to get into a job outside of Houston as shelter and get work there, and it just didn't work out. I had the RV, so I had a place to live, but I couldn't have an actual home, an actual address. Couldn't get a job and everything. Ended up during the same time, I still, because of the probation, I was pressured into taking the plea bargain deal to be put on probation, telling me, because of CPS, you need to get this taken care of. So that's what I did. I took a plea bargain deal, pretty much first offer, and still ended up losing, using the probation to still ended up taking my child away. So and now it's been 2 years. It wasn't really running, but I couldn't pay the fees. I tried to contact them, couldn't get anybody, get voicemails. Probation officer changed 2 or 3 times. Never got to receive the call from them, but yet they tell the court, no, we call her and no answer. So, but yet my phone never rang. So, and now here I get my RV breaks down. I'm trying to sell it. I ended up getting arrested after I made a deal. Have no way of saving my RV except giving having the new buyer trusting that man that he's going to not take advantage of the situation and honor the deal. So this it carried on. Got arrested. Supposedly he no sent me the original agreement was $2,000. No, basically $1,000 van and or $1,500 van and $500 cash. Whatever the cost of the van, up to $1,500. So make sure it was a decent running van and $500 cash. Well, because I'd been arrested, he took advantage of the situation to renegotiate and pressure me. And because it's either let the police impound my vehicle and I lose everything I owned, or trust this man to not do me wrong. I ended up getting out, get back up here so I can get back and take care of the probation and everything as soon as possible. Been up here a week and a half. God didn't say anything about renegotiating, nothing. Come up, knows I have to be back in the city where I have probation on Monday. So he comes up last night want to basically renegotiate that he's not doing nothing more but buying me a van. Well, buying me a van, the original agreement was $2,000. I told him, yes, I will deduct the towing cost of saving my van, my RV, and all my belongings. Deduct that, so that was $1,500. He still owes me $1,500. Found a van for $1,000 on last weekend. Never contacted him. Gave the excuse that the guy ain't messaging me back, but yet when I messaged him, he messaged me right then. Comes up on last night and he's not giving any more money. He's just buying the van and that's it. I can't get my keys back. No, if I don't want to do that deal, I have to pay him the $500 just to get my keys so I can relist it. But now that it's less than 3 days till I have to be back in the other city to report in, I don't have time to resell. He's basically taking advantage of me. I tried calling my attorney. I called the probation office because that's what I was told on the court. If I couldn't show up, call them and let them know. I tried calling that. Well, we can't do anything. Call your attorney. Call the attorney. He can't do anything. He's not going to do anything. You know, sucks. Basically, in general terms, sorry that you're being taken advantage of, but I can't do anything. I can't help you. This is the same attorney that pressured me into taking a plea deal 3 years ago, saying I need to get this taken care of so I can take care of the CPS thing. Same attorney, court appointed, doesn't even live in the county. So, but yeah, oh, homeless. Everybody wants to get rid of homeless people. Just throw them in jail, right? Just throw them in jail. As, so now I'm sitting here. Basically, I have to take an offer just to get a van, and then I'm still going to be stranded because I won't have the cash, the extra cash that I'm supposed to be getting, but I can't because he waited till the just the right amount of time to where I couldn't relist it. Tried calling the police last night, telling them I'm being held against my will to basically take an offer that I don't see as right. They won't even come over and help me get my keys back, being it's a civil matter. He's not allowed to hold my keys without going to civil court and getting the money back, but he's doing it anyway. Cops won't do nothing. They can't help me being I'm being held against my will. I'm having to take an offer that is not part of the deal. No, so I'm just kind of curious. Why do people believe that they can take advantage of someone in a desperate situation so they can get a 36-foot RV that's not gutted, that only has to have a radiator repaired to function and drive again, but yet they're going to take advantage of someone with a homeless in a homeless desperate situation, and people wonder why homeless people don't trust people, that they want to be away. No, homeless just want to be left alone because people treat them like they have to take what they offer, throwing them little scraps and bones and stuff because they have no money or because they're in a desperate situation. Sorry about that phone call. I know there's nobody watching, but I just wanted to get that out there and see if I could get some answers of why people feel that they can take advantage of a homeless person in a desperate situation. And then, you know, how am I even if I take the van from this guy, how am I supposed to get my stuff out of my RV and into a storage that I can't put everything in my vehicle, down my belongings? Oh, and here's another kicker. He's throwing up that the only way he will give me the extra cash is I have to leave my solar panels that was not being part of the deal to begin with. No, not my fault. Was never My solar panels were never for sale, but the only way he will give me the extra cash is if I give him my solar panels, sell him this, but then I won't have any electricity or the way to charge my phone and run a light in the van to live in. That's the only way I can get an extra couple $100. But yet the original deal was $2,000, and I said I'd take deduct the towing cost, which is 500. That's $1,500. The van that I'm looking at is $1,000. That means I'm still being owed $500, and he's refusing to do it, saying the deal was 1,500. That was the negotiate renegotiating of when I got arrested. He took advantage of me being in jail to renegotiate. And when I got out, he said, I'm ready to do the original deal. I said, okay, that's before January 3rd. And he's denying it. He's saying the deal was 1,500, but yet I have text messages and messenger messages saying otherwise. So I don't know. If someone can help me understand why people feel that they can target homeless people or they can target someone in a desperate situation to get something for practically nothing, I would really appreciate that. Hi, Sam. I didn't see you come in, but I don't know. Like I said, I just don't get it. I just don't freaking get it. To the point I don't even want to be in this country anymore. I don't even want to be around this society anymore. People are just so cruel. You know, you're honest with people. You're honest. You give everything. I gave my heart to the ex, and I got taken advantage of. Yes, he got me out on the hope that it would make me his slave. And when I really pretty much still just wanted to take care of my RV, it wasn't good enough for him. And I got thrown on the street, abandoned, and had to take what little money I had when I got out of jail just to get back to this RV so I could finish selling it so I could go take care of my probation. I ain't getting any help from the police. I'm not getting any help with the probation. I'm not getting any help from a court appointed attorney. I was set up in the beginning to take a deal that I didn't even want to take, but I couldn't really go to trial because they already had me convicted, throwing my shit on the front page newspaper of the town. And people say that this system is great. This system is just needs to have be fixed. No, the system doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be thrown out and started over. No, if I go and actually try to do what I want and take care of this, deal with this guy myself, I'm gonna be thrown in jail for worse because he's holding me here as a prisoner for money that I don't have, so I should be able to take care of it. But I can't, or I'm taking a chance of going back to jail. If I don't take his offer of just the van, I'm still not going to probably make it to the probation in 3 days because I won't have the extra cash to buy gas and food. If there's good people out there, Sam reports, I really like to see them because right now, everywhere I look, I don't, I can't find them. I hear people on the internet and stuff, but when it comes down to face, all they care about is what is good for them, getting the best for them. Everybody will take advantage of anybody for anything. And to take advantage of someone in my situation, knowing I have to take your offer now, or I'm basically going having a warrant put back on me. All over an extra $500. I don't know. I just don't get it. The system sucks. It really does. It sucks. Everybody's looped in to one thing, no matter what it is. They just see the crime and that's it. I just want to resell. I just want to do what I'm supposed to do, but I can't when I don't have any money. Can't get a job. I can't get work. Can't get assistance. It's really rigged. The system is really rigged against people very with no income or with any type of record. It doesn't matter what the record is, what the charge is on somebody. The society sees the charge and that's all they see. They see what the newspaper or the cops say and that's it. They don't look at the whole thing. And that's why I got off of Facebook. That's why I got off of Facebook. It's because I got tired of that. All the hypocrites on Facebook. I believe in one thing. You abide by God's laws and their commandments, and you treat others as you want to be treated. But it seems like I'm the only one that seems to do that. Oh, I trust people. I treat everyone individually. I trust each one, and I always get stepped on. I always get taken advantage of. I'm too easily trusting, because that's the way I believe. I just trust everyone. They're not. I don't loop anybody individual. Like I said, now I'm to the point to where I guess I'm gonna have to take his offer and still get stranded. And I don't know if the van is supposedly in good shape or not. It could break down in 2 months. I don't know. Oh well. I'm not asking for any finance. I just needed to come on and talk and rant. I lost my dog when I got arrested. The dog got taken to the police station in a different city, and come to find out, I didn't even know. I thought he was being picked up by somebody on Monday. I didn't find out until January 8th on Friday of being in jail that he was still at the police station. And then when I finally got out 2 weeks ago, I called the police station and they have it written down that they talked to me on January 7th, which what I said to the jailer was, if he can go to a good home. But then I came back and asked him to find out how long he could be held that I could get him back because he was my emotional support animal that I basically couldn't function without him. They never got back to me on that. And it found out that they just told the police station that I gave up my rights on January 7th, but when I talked to them, it was January 8th. They had him adopted out the same day, 3 days after I was arrested, listed that they talked to me January 7th, and he was adopted out the same day. So, that's another thing. But like I said, it comes down to it. I was even arrested to begin with because I was knew my rights, knew that they couldn't ID me for just anything unless I was being arrested, and they were mad. So they did investigation, found out who I was, used the fact that he couldn't actually come inside and take me out of the RV because he really didn't have a warrant. All he had was the bolo that I had a probation warrant violation. So he knocked on the door and said, "I'm here to take the complaint on a previous call." Because I wanted to file a complaint on an officer earlier that day for his attitude and the way his violations that day. And they told me I had to come in. I was half asleep when he knocked on the door. I was almost asleep. So I wasn't functioning. But he basically lied and then that he was there to take the complaint. But it was a whole setup retaliation arrest on me. They were not happy with me and they retaliated. He straight up when he finally got me out of the vehicle on a lie, All he did was show me a picture of his so-called warrant. I asked numerous times for the see the actual warrant. Finally, when he had me in cuffs, I don't have a warrant. And you're lucky I didn't do much worse to you based on your charges. My charges were a probation violation, but they have it listed as an assault with a deadly weapon, even though it wasn't a firearm. It was an accident, which could have happened to anyone else in this country that had a child in the back seat and had an accident. The only reason it does is because 99% of the people, hi, racing Randy, racing Andy or Randy, no, the only reason it didn't happen to everybody else is because most people don't have a narcissist trying to control them and punish them if they don't do what they tell them to do. I did. So that's why I got punished and got charged. But the officer, when I got arrested January 3rd, straight up told me, yes, he lied, and I'm lucky he didn't do worse to me because based on what he saw on the charge for the charges. You know, got to the bookie, standing there at bookie, sergeant walks in from the Boss County and tells me, basically was pissed because the officer who arrested me, deputy arrested me, he did not actually impound the RV right then. They took impounded my dog, but he didn't red flag or impound the RV. So the sergeant turned around and looked right at me and said, I'm fixing to leave right now, and I'm going right back out there to tag it. You have 48 hours to get it moved. You tell me that's not a retaliatory stop. All because the previous 3 months, I'm moving around to the parks in the area that I could to try to sell my vehicle. And the first park had no signs up. Army Corps Park, public property, just federally managed by Army Corps. No signs up, had nothing up, but yet I'm going to be, because someone called and basically made a report that I was down there, they get mad because tell me I'm being trespassed and I can't be there. There's no overnight camping. But yet there's no signs up, but you're supposed to know this and go look on the internet, which the internet says it is allowed camping up to 2 weeks. All the people around there, so end up they basically walk away, gave me a verbal warning, told me to leave, which I did. So that was step one where they were upset with me because I wouldn't give my ID. But yet I didn't have to because I wasn't arrested. Out of his words, I'm not being arrested and I haven't committed any crime. So I didn't have to. Second time I had to, I went to a different park, was working with them until the third week, and that's when they came out again trying to ID me, and I because I didn't commit nothing wrong, I told them I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to have the buyer. I'm trying to leave and stuff. Being forced to drive off the property, which I did. And because of this incident, I was told prior that from an Army Corps Ranger that as long as you left that park, you could go to other parks. And now they're telling me, no, you can't. You have to leave the whole area and not come back for 30 days. Well, the rules change constantly. It's like they say one thing and then the next is something different. So kept going, doing all this. But like I said, this last stop when I got arrested, it was a straight up retaliation. He didn't come up knocking on the door saying he had a warrant for my arrest. He came up knocking on the door saying he was there to take a complaint for a previous call that I wanted to make a complaint. So he straight up lied. But people say, oh, they're just doing their job. How are they doing their job? It was a probation. I haven't been able to pay their fees because I'm being homeless and can't find work. When a lot of companies, businesses, I knock on the doors, go in and ask for jobs. You know, you're honest and you tell them your situation. Nobody wants to hire you. You can't get hired. Oh, but yet people will run down to Home Depot at 5 o'clock in the morning and pick up people at 5 o'clock in the morning that can't speak English and pay them $200 a day. But here's someone who's a citizen, can't get a job. I've done so much different types of work. I've done building, ranching, fence building, construction. I've built, I've helped worked with my dad to build his 3 bedroom home, custom home. And the only thing we did not do was the foundation, the roof, and the plumbing. Everything else we did, and I learned from him. I've done all types of construction, basic construction, as a helper. I've worked in a glass factory, so I'm 5 foot tall, 130 pounds, and I've lifted up glass twice my height and width. So there's nothing I can't do when I set my mind to it. I do all kinds of stuff. I just need someone to give me a job. But yet, if you're honest and you tell them the truth, they won't hire you. But yet, it seems like if you lie, you can get hired. I don't like lying. I'm not a big believer in lying. I may not tell the whole truth, but right now I'm telling the whole truth. I am not hiding nothing. I can show text messages, everything. Even now, the ex is constantly calling me back. The guy who just dropped me off last week in the middle of on the street and left me stranded. He's been cussing me one moment, then the next moment he comes back and apologizes and begging and crying. And then the next moment he comes back, cussing me again that I'm just nothing but a user and take using people and stuff. How am I using people? I've never really asked, unless I'm in an emergency situation, I don't ask for anything from anyone other than, even now, I'm not really asking anybody. I'm not asking for finances or nothing. I just needed a rant and talk. And I figured this was the best way. I didn't want to go live on Facebook. Trying to get off of that mess over there. But like I said, in my opinion, if it was the way it should be, I should be able to get my keys back and leave and resell. But yet I can't do that because if I do it the way I want to do it, I'm gonna be going to jail for something worse. But yet the cops won't come over here and help me get my keys back so I can resell it. But yet I don't have time to resell it anyway. So, but let's catch up on some of these comments. Yeah, like I said, I didn't have the night of being arrested video, so but supposedly there's a body cam and anybody who wants to able to do it. It was Boss County, January 3rd at about 8:30 at night. Everything that happened should be on body cam for my arrest. And I will actually, the day that my charges started, I need to figure out if someone can help me. The court appointed attorney, I keep asking him how to reopen the case so I can redo that and get maybe either a better plea bargain or something. He keeps telling me there's no way. I know there's something that can be done. There's got to be something. I was pressured. He pressured me into the plea bargain deal. The court appointed attorney from CPS pressured me into a plea bargain deal. I never saw the body cam footage, even though the attorney said he had it. Never brought it to me. I never saw the footage, never saw any of the evidence. Just told that they have a slam dunk case. So, but if someone is willing to help in that aspect, when I got arrested, I'm pretty much, like I said, 125 pounds, 130 pounds. I was had my baby in the back seat. I was not a threat. Did not have anything in my vehicle. Wasn't pulled over. I was turning back around to go back to my home when I stopped. I voluntarily pulled over. They came up behind me and stopped. Forcefully started telling me I had to leave the vehicle, threatening me. I ended up getting yanked out of my vehicle by not one but two officers, thrown in a ditch. I don't have my glasses because of this incident, so that's why I can't see comments. A lot of times, it's got my eyes have gotten 10 times worse. But I don't have my original glasses because they were lost after the arrest. But I was being held in a ditch, handcuffed, got tased with my head. Every time I raised my head out of the ditch of water because I couldn't breathe, I was being pushed back down or tased, told me to stop resisting because I was lifting my head up out of a 2-inch ditch of water and being basically pressed back down into the ditch. But yet cops are good. They don't do abuse. They only do it when it's a threat to them. How am I a threat? I have a less than 1 year old child in the back end of a car seat, strapped in, had on a tank top and shorts, nothing else in the vehicle, but I'm a threat because I was not, I was just got deal with a crazy paranoid schizophrenic narcissist that thinks he can control me or punish me. So, but yeah, I'm a threat. I got ripped out of my vehicle, thrown in a ditch, tased, told not to stop resisting. Like I said, y'all are welcome. If everybody wants, you're welcome. It was March of 2018, I believe, when this happened in Livingston, Texas, Polk County. Like I said, if somebody wants to look into it, like I said, they ended up dropping the resisting charge, probably because I'm thinking they dropped it because they didn't want the the bruises, the bruises of in the taser marks of me being arrested when I was arrested. They didn't want that to come to trial, so they ended up dropping the resisting charge. So their abuse did not come to light. But yeah, when I have PTSD because of this, all the rest. So yeah, I do. I fear the cops. I don't respect them anymore. They're abusive, and I do fear them because they basically can do whatever they want, and they get away with it. In Polk County, they're worse. The time I was sitting in there, I saw people come in. They had pretty much everybody that came in while I was there was being held on probation warrants. But they had a bond, but it was most of them were homeless or no income, and they didn't have anybody to help to pay the bond. You know, the charges. One lady came in as a lady that came in. Luckily, she had family and had her own attorney, but her son was being arrested. She walked up barefooted to the incident and told her son, I'm, her, the attorney's name and not to speak to anyone until the attorney got there. They charged her with, told her she didn't sound normal, that she sounded intoxicated, charged her with public intoxication and interference because she told her son not to talk to anybody until the attorney arrived. Polk County only gets cameras on them when it happens to the colored community. They treat the colors a little bit better than they do because they know that they're going to have more scrutiny if they don't. They get lower charges. I watched young kids come in waving a firearm in the cop's face. They got $1,000 bond, a $2,000 bond each, and was out on bond for $200 apiece. But yet they were waving, charged with deadly conduct with a firearm, or deadly conduct, and the other one unlawful carrying of a firearm, and they only got $2,000 bonds. So Polk County really needs some investigation. They need to be looked into. It's corrupt during the winter time, during Christmas. Electricity rates go up because of the city running the lights. They charge the public, they raise the rates of the public during the Christmas season to offset the price of the city running lights for Christmas. So, like I said, Polk County, people think Polk County is great, but there's so much corruption in that town. It's all about you do what we say. The way they treat their inmates is all right. Sam reports. No, just it's just corrupt, and I can't afford it. I still have not seen the body cam footage, and now the attorney says there's nothing. I can't reopen that case. I can't try to get a better plea bargain, anything. But like I said, he's a court appointed. He gets paid no matter what. And he gets paid better, to get plea bargains. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't find anyone to actually help me as far as that. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for help with my courts and stuff. I wish there was a way to get that and put out that body cam footage, but I can't afford the the fees toward the FOIA reports. I can't afford to get all that information and pay their fees, which is also hurts people, homeless people. You know, they can treat no income homeless people any way they want and do whatever and get everything they want because they can't afford to fight them. It's I don't know, but if anybody has any suggestions for a attorney that might take my case without charging, would take it pro bono, you know, well, I'll put my how do I comment? I don't know how I can't comment on here. Let's see. I'll add my email if anybody has any suggestions or has an attorney that might can help me with anything. My email is going to be running across. That's my email. That's my email. If anybody has any suggestions or knows anybody who might can help me with any of these court cases, like I said, a attorney maybe that might do a pro bono thing to reopen the case or something. Like I said, because I did not have adequate representation in the whole beginning. I was pushed to take plea bargain deal. The first, basically the first offer, not by one attorney, but by the CPS court appointed attorney was pushing me. And like I said, I lost the child. They used the probation in order to, I haven't lost his rights, but I pretty much might well because I can't do anything. I don't have any say or anything on him. I can't find work, so, but I'm gonna let you go. Like I said, that's my email. Scrolling across the bottom where it can be reached. If anybody has any suggestions or has any advice on how to reopen the case, or an attorney that might take my case, so I'll let y'all go. Thank thank everyone for coming in. Anyone who comes and watches later. So thank you.